I'm going to tell you two stories and two examples, but they're all pertaining to the people pleaser trait, and they're also pertaining to the pride we have as men and how our pride is blocking us from the support that we need, and also our pride is stopping us from asking for what we truly desire, and it's also robbing someone the act of giving. One of my little sisters last night reached out to me and she's like, hey, how's everything going? Is there any support that I can give you? I'd like to help in any way. I'm like, thank you for the offer. And that was it. I walked away from my phone. And the masterclass, the training, the mindset stuff came back in. I was like, bro, you're people pleasing right now. And so I turned back around and then sent her a message straight away. I'm like, actually, do you know what? Would you be able to cook us dinner one night this week? It would really help out the family unit. So I'm going to talk about the things that went through my mind, because I know they go through yours as well. And I know that it's stopping you from actually, one, getting the support that you need, and two, actually asking for what you desire. How many of you have just had someone's offered support and you said, oh, thank you for the offer, but you never, ever followed back up on it? You never took them back up on that offer. Like my hand in the air, I used to do this heaps. And so what came up for me and why I used to not, and then this time what came up as well is like, my sister, she's got 2 kids and she works full time. She's not gonna have the time to do that. It's gonna put her out. The other one that came up for me is like, I'm her older brother and that she's supporting me and she's younger. So they became that like, oh, I should be looking after her came up. All of this like bullshit, and that bullshit, the mind chatter, all these excuses and reasons and people pleasing had my power in everybody else and was disempowering my little sister. Can you see that? It was disempowering. My bullshit up here was disempowering for that moment my little sister, because she deeply wanted to help. She loves cooking. And so she was like, awesome, I'm gonna come around on Friday, I'm gonna cook a meal. And she, when I actually asked for that and I asked what I desired, it empowered her. And like I could feel the vibration and her energy through that message. So how many times have you done that in your life? So I know, like, man, I used to do that so many times, have so many different people offer to give help and support, and I'd be like, thank you, I'm good anyway. And just pass it on rather than going, actually, do you know what? This is actually what I need in this moment. If you want to break through that right now, a little thing to do is from now on, if anyone asks to buy you coffee or pay for your coffee, say yes, receive that. Because there's also a block in there if we're not able to receive that. Because like sometimes there's beliefs that I'm not worthy enough to receive that, even just a coffee or someone buying you dinner or my sister cooking our family dinner. It comes down to this self-worth of like, I'm not worthy to receive that because I've been taught that I need to give to be able to receive, which is a fucking lie. That is a lie. We don't need to give anything at all, because with the people that give, when we give from a place of unconditional love, we give from a place of not wanting to receive anything. We give with no expectations, and that is what it means to give. And so when people are actually asking you, hey, is there something I can do for you? That is unconditional love. They're not expecting anything in return. And so stop people pleasing and actually ask for what you desire and empower that person. And so amazing, my sister's gonna drop some food around Friday. Number 2 is, I'm gonna use my example of my father, and then I'll talk about one of my clients' dads as well. So my dad, he left when I was 7, and the way that he used to show love was by buying gifts. He never ever missed a birthday, and to this date never misses a birthday. He's never missed a Christmas or Easter. He's always given us a $50 gift voucher. And at the time, and into my early 20s, I hated it because I wanted something that was thoughtful. I wanted actually something that I could hold on to and be tangible and experience. What I've learned through personal development and learning about my values is I was actually judging my father pertaining to my values and what is important to me. And now looking at it from, especially as I became a father, looking at it from his perspective, I deeply respect the man now. Deeply respect him because he showed up. in his way, and that was his way of showing love. We have actually had deeper conversations around this and around him and I, and he's declared that he wishes that he told us he loved us more. He wished that he was able to share his emotions with us, and so that was a block for him, but he found a way that he could give love, which was that in a monetary form. My client, so he was really keen to work with me one-on-one, and he got to the point of the financial investment. He's like, hey man, I just can't do this at this time personally. I'm like, okay man, is there anyone in your life that could actually support you right now? And he's like, yeah man, my dad could definitely support me financially. I'm like, cool man, like let's ask him. And the pride thing came up. All of the things I just spoke about with my little sister, it came up because it was his dad. The exact same bullshit. The exact same stuff. I should have the money in the bank. It's going to mean that I'm not successful. That if I get support of other people, X, Y, and Z. There was all of those lists. All of them were there. So we worked through all of that, and we just looked at it was just a mindset. And he's actually like robbing his dad of the act of giving. And if he says no, what does that mean anyway? So many times people pleasers don't even actually ask because of the fear of rejection. People pleasers don't like chaos. If there's chaos, or if it's like, oh, conflict, oh man, I'm not gonna start that. Anyway, fast forward to my client and his dad. We all three of us jumped on a phone conversation, and we had a good chat. And we actually, the same stuff that I was going through with my dad and about my dad not wanting to be able to voice his emotions was exactly the same thing for one of my clients and his dad. And they were able to talk about that openly for the very first time. And my client actually got to voice, hey, this is what I need from you right now in this relationship between father and son. And by father and son, both of these men are grown adult men over the age of 35. My client was. And so, yeah, my client worked with me for 3 months, and part of that is that there's a 3-day retreat. And my client's dad got to come on a 3-day retreat. And one of the most beautiful moments was seeing my client's dad bawling his eyes out, raw emotion, which is something that my client had craved. He'd never ever seen his dad express like this, of how proud he was of his son, his transformation in just 3 short months. And if we wind the clock back, if my client stayed in the people pleaser and the egoic of pride, I can't ask for help and support of my dad, they would never have ever gotten that breakthrough for both of them. So by him asking for help and support actually empowered both of them. And so this is just a reminder to actually ask for what it is that you desire. And that no just means next opportunity. And you're gonna get so many no's in your life, but the game of life is like, how many times can you actually step through all of the stuff we make that mean when people say no, and actually get what we desire. And just remember too that when people say no, they're not rejecting you, they're just rejecting the offer. And so I'll use my client for an example. If his dad had said no, he wasn't saying to his son, you are worthless, I don't think you're worth this, I don't value you, I don't love you. But that's what the mind says. The inner boy, the inner child, the inner critic says that, but he actually physically doesn't say that. He would have just been saying, hey man, I just can't financially invest right now for X, Y, and Z reason. I don't have the money, or I don't think it is viable. But he didn't reject the actual man if he said no. And so just, we wanted to highlight that. So we get caught in these traps, we get caught in these mindsets, we get caught in these people pleaser traits that keep robbing us and disempowering us as men and as women. And so this is an invitation to stop people pleasing and to grow beyond that. So first we need tools. We need to know what we don't know. So we need to know how to first become aware of the people pleaser trait, the tendencies that we had, and how to break through them with certain tools and techniques. Then we need the confidence to do that. Because it's one thing to know things, like this is like, you can read a lot of books, you can listen to a lot of podcasts, you can listen to a lot of Facebook Lives and know a lot of shit. But unless you actually put action behind that, nothing is ever going to change. And so you need confidence to actually action and move through that people pleaser trait and all of those excuses and reasons and all the mind chatter. And then lastly, the accountability and support to be able to navigate that.